crimson-like bled across Elias's face, harsh and alien. He stumbled, his shoulder screaming in protest, the ground uneven and gritty beneath his boots. The dense, violet foliage scraped against his arms, releasing a sickly sweet odor that clung to the air. Above, 2 moons hung low in the sky, casting long, distorted shadows. He didn't recognize the constellations. This wasn't Earth. Just moments ago, he's been in the ruined laboratory, tangled in wires and pulsing machinery. Younger Thorne's device, a chaotic tangle of vacuum tubes and shimmering crystals, had flared with blinding light before abruptly ceasing, the air thickening with an almost tangible pressure. He's felt the tearing sensation, the feeling of being violently displaced, and then this. Elias, a voice echoed in his mind, a familiar comfort amidst the disorientation. It was Younger Thorne, his voice crisp and clear, devoid of the electronic distortion that had previously accompanied it. "Can you hear me?" Elias asked, clutching his head. "Yes, I hear you. Where are we?" "A consequence of the disruption," Younger Thorne replied. "The Loom's influence is reduced, enough for a temporary translocation, a bridge to another place. The Loom." The name resonated within him, a chilling echo of the architect's pronouncements and the ancient, resonant voice that had plagued his mind. It was the force controlling the laboratory, manipulating events, orchestrating his suffering. He looked around, fear constricting his chest. Towering above the violet trees were creatures unlike anything he's ever seen. Their bodies were segmented, armored in a carapace of obsidian black. Long, spindly limbs ended in razor-sharp claws, and their heads were dominated by multifaceted eyes that seemed to absorb all light. They moved with an unsettling grace, their movements precise and coordinated. What are those things?" Elias whispered, his voice trembling. "Guardians," Younger Thorne said. "Enforcers of the ascendancy. They weren't expecting this." A guttural clicking sound reached Elias's ears, followed by a series of rapid fire vibrations. The Guardians had noticed him. They began to advance, their movements deliberate and menacing. "They're coming," Elias said, his breath catching in his throat. "What do we do?" "There's a cave." Younger Thorne's voice was strained, as if he was concentrating. "A small chance of temporary shelter. Head west. I'm working on something. I need time." "Time for what?" Elias asked, already starting to run, his injured shoulder throbbing with pain. "To sever the connection," Younger Thorne replied, his voice fading slightly. "To break the Loom's grasp completely. But it's proving difficult." Elias didn't respond, pushing through the dense foliage, the Guardian's clicking echoing behind him. He stumbled, falling to his knees, scraping his hands against the rough ground. He scrambled back to his feet, driven by a primal instinct to survive. He found the cave, a small opening in the side of a towering rock formation. He ducked inside, the darkness swallowing him whole. He leaned against the cool rock, catching his breath, listening for any sign of pursuit. "Elias," Younger Thorne's voice returned, stronger this time, but laced with a strange urgency. "I'm close. I need you to remember something." "Remember what?" Elias asked, his heart pounding in his chest. "The glyphs," Younger Thorne said. "The Sumerian-like glyphs you found in the laboratory. They aren't just symbols. They're keys." "Keys to what?" Elias pressed, straining to understand. "To severing the Loom's influence completely," Younger Thorne replied. "They contain the frequency to disrupt its connection. Focus on them. Visualize them. Let them resonate within you. It's the final step." Elias closed his eyes, struggling to recall the intricate patterns, the strange combination of angular shapes and swirling lines. He saw them etched into the walls of the laboratory, shimmering beneath a strange, violet light. He focused on their shapes, their angles, their curves, trying to feel their resonance within him. As he concentrated, a wave of dizziness washed over him. He felt a surge of power, a feeling of being connected to something vast and ancient. He saw images flashing through his mind, soaring galaxies, collapsing stars, landscapes he couldn't comprehend. Suddenly a voice, stronger than any he's heard before, echoed within his mind. It wasn't the Loom's voice, nor Younger Thorne's. It was something else entirely, powerful, resonant, and undeniably alien. "You are interfering," the voice boomed. "You are disrupting the natural order." Elias cried out, staggering back against the cave wall. He felt a searing pain in his mind, a feeling of being scrutinized, analyzed, judged. Silence. Younger Thorne's voice cut through the alien presence, sharp and urgent. "You cannot touch him. He is mine." The alien voice paused, seemingly surprised. "You dare defy the ascendancy?" "I answer to no one," Younger Thorne retorted. "He will not be controlled. He will be free." A brief but intense struggle ensued within Elias's mind, a clash of wills that threatened to shatter his sanity. He felt himself being pulled in two directions, torn between the Ascendancy's control and Younger Thorne's defiance. Then abruptly, the struggle ceased. The alien voice vanished, leaving behind a profound silence. Elias, Younger Thorne's voice was weak with strain. "I'm losing the connection, I'm sorry I couldn't." The voice faded completely, leaving Elias alone in the darkness, his mind reeling. He stumbled out of the cave, blinking against the crimson light. The Guardians were gone. He looked up at the two moons hanging low in the sky. He didn't know where he was, or how he would escape, but he knew one thing: he was no longer the same man who had entered the ruined laboratory. He carried within him a power he didn't understand, a memory of a struggle he couldn't explain, and a lingering sense of hope that, somehow, he would find his way home. A single glyph appeared, shimmering above him in the crimson sky, a symbol of a gateway, a promise of a future he couldn't yet imagine.